Hi, my name is Molly Gazay, and you are listening to a Living Album Podcast. I had to put this shirt on today because all the flowers in my neighborhood are blooming and I am obsessed and I'm loving it so much. So I hope you enjoy because I'm enjoying. And you know what else we're going to enjoy today? We're going to enjoy an amazing podcast episode with Becker. She is an incredible actor and really a maverick of creating her own dreams and her own path. She's going to talk to us a little bit about how she is getting started with her maverickness and things that she's done as an actor and so many more things, as well as talk about the song of the month, which is U-Turn. So I'm really excited for you guys to listen to how she is navigating this crazy environment of New York, how we met, and about the song of the month. And if you haven't listened to the song of the month yet, U-Turn, please go check it out. Let me know what you think. If it gives you a memory that pops up, or if something happens while you're listening to it. And yeah, I would love to talk to you about it. So please send me a message, and I would love it if you could like and subscribe to this channel, as well as my music page. I don't know why I'm so fidgety today. Very fidgety. I think it's because I want to get outside and see all the flowers still. Anywho's a boozles. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get to the episode. So we met at a networking event in 2013, and long time. I mean, it doesn't even feel that long, but
the time flies though. That was when I first moved to New York. Like, that was the first year. Yeah. So you were in that first group I associate with original, creative, artistic New York people. Because when I moved, I didn't know a lot of people. I moved with 2 roommates who I went to school with for theater, but pretty much that was it. And so I went to probably every networking event possible, because I was just I didn't know how else to meet. I was also culture shocked. I was moving from the Midwest, a small town. So I was I don't know how else am I supposed to meet people here? So.
It's true. I mean, even coming from San Francisco, where I'm used to going out, to bars and, open mic nights and all this stuff, but there really wasn't a huge the theater scene was very small, and also the film scene was practically non-existent. It was mostly student films out of San Francisco State University. So when I first moved to New York, I was what do I do?
All figured it out. Look at us now.
I know. Happy 4 years later.
Yeah.
But it's it's true. It's so great. And I love how everybody that I know, because I think we moved here at about that time too. And I only knew I would say 1 or 2 people in New York at that moment. So yeah, I mean and how far we've all come, right? And we're going to get into it, but
wow.
Whoo, man. It's a crazy ride.
Well, for me, a lot of times when I hear songs, music resonates with me a lot, as I know it does you. I also do musical theater and all of that, so I appreciate music very much. Usually I do think about, obviously, my own life how it relates to a song, but I will put imagery to it. But with U-Turn, it really struck a person, like a heartstring in me when I heard you sent it to me just a couple weeks ago, and I listened to it, and I just putting aside the fact that it's just really well written and amazingly set, like your voice is amazing in it. Putting that aside, everything I've had quite a crazy last 2 months, to say the least. My life, what I was saying was my life has been going through, it's gone like a 360. It's like in every aspect, it has been changing very, very quickly. And so when I put the song on, I just kind of was overcome with emotion because I was in the thick of what I was going through, both my personal relationship, some family relationships, some big career changes, which, by the way, these are a lot of the career stuff especially has been good, but with leveling up comes with a lot of responsibility, and we all want it. We all want to level up. But then when it comes to us, it can be overwhelming, especially if it's happening at the same time as some other things. So literally every aspect of my life was changing, for good or for bad, or for good or for challenge, I should say. And so when the song came on, I just was overcome. And to be perfectly honest, I was just like pretty much from after like 5 words, I was just crying, like just letting out all of this emotion. Like it was so relatable. And each verse I was putting to different parts of my, like what was going through my head imagery was my life. Was like first verse, I was thinking about a personal relationship thing. Second verse, I was thinking about my career in this aspect. Third verse, I was thinking about, my film career in this aspect. And now I'm producing and acting. Like it was like everything, like I was going just through the levels in my head of what is happening in my life. And so my life was literally playing out for me like a movie during songs. I was like, if there was ever a movie about me, this would be the song. Like honestly, like in this part of what I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
This has been the most challenging last couple months of my entire life thus far, for absolute certainty. So it was like crying in a release of emotion in like a good and a bad way. You know, some things were making me sad. Some things were making me relief. Some things are making me feel like optimistic and excited about like what's coming. Mm-hmm. So I did not know, you know, obviously the song you turn, you kind of can think of an idea about what it might be about, but you never know until you hear it. So I was not expecting that at all when I put it on to it. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I just went through a whole like saga of emotions in 4 minutes. That was crazy.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear though, that it really like resonated with you in that way.
It truly, more than I can relate to a lot. I relate to music usually very deeply, but it was more than normal. Just based on like what I'm going through. So, I think it's probably relatable for a lot of people, even if they can't relate on the level that I did with every single aspect. I'm sure at least one aspect, you know, you can think of it in terms of a career move, or you can think of it in terms of a breakup, or you can think of it in terms of like a family, someone dying or someone leaving, like going overseas or something like that, which I'm sure anyone can at least relate to one of these things. So I could definitely, I think of it in like movie sense, for sure. Very cinematic, very like a movie, like moment during like a big like climax type of moment, you know? So that's definitely how I felt about it. And it is beautiful. And I like definitely will look forward to adding it to my Apple Music playlist for sure. Because I will. But again, it gets me through life. So I rely on this stuff.
I mean, I do too, man. I have my workout playlist. I got my sad playlist. I need to cry playlist.
Pump yourself up playlist.
Going
to playlist, like
all day. Yeah, exactly. No,
yeah.
I'm so happy that, you know, it really resonated with you, because I've mentioned this a lot on this podcast. The whole reason I want to like make music and also be an actor is because I want to make people feel less alone. So
I'm this ditto.
Yeah. And I think it's very much a resonating factor for a lot of creatives. Like we do things to, whether it's through comedy or through drama or through music or through painting, it's all to communicate with the part of our like the human psyche that needs to know that there's other people out there that feel the same way or experience things the same way.
Exactly. That's like why I, like what you said, that's why I do what I do. That's the point to me. If you're not doing it for that reason, I'm not, you know, it's kind of, to me, that's the reason that it exists. And that's why it was created in the first place, was for people to relate to each other and connect and express. So I fully agree with that.
No, I love that. And thank you for your review on it. And thank you for sharing all your personal information, like all your personal feelings.
For 3 hours. So,
but enough about me. Let's talk about you. And I would love to know what your actor's journey has been, because all of us have one. So what has yours been like, and leading up to this point?
Oh gosh, it's been quite, it's crazy, as all of ours. I'm sure there's no boring actor's journey, I don't think.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Oxymoron.
Yeah, for real. From where I started to where I am now, it's like, my actor's journey technically started when I was really young. I'm from Indiana. I started doing musical theater when I was 11. So that's technically when it started. Cause as soon as I did my first show, I told my mom, well, I'm going to be an actor. This is what I'm doing. And she was probably like, oh, great. Like, I think she was very supportive, but in her head, she was probably like, I hope that she comes up with something else.
Won't they all? Yeah.
Though my whole family was, they were all artistic too. My family is artistic and does music. My mom does like costume design, but nobody relies on it for their career. Mm-hmm. So I think that they all thought, we're an artistic family, of course, but I ended up, of course, pursuing it, did musical theater and film studies in college, and moved to New York right after graduation. And so throughout my high school and college years, I actually did a lot of really cool things. I performed on I started my equity card in college because my school did a program where they would bring in some New York actors when we did a repertory project. So they would have them be the leading roles, and then some lucky students got to be supporting or chorus in some shows. So I started that, and then moved to New York and was doing a lot of theater. I did a few off-Broadway shows, but I was very naive. I was not educated on how to, like, the importance of finding an agent, how to go about getting one. I was not also very built up to really just be me and bring what I have to the table as an actor. I felt very much like I had to be a certain way. So I do feel that, and this goes along with why my end goals have changed over the years, of course, over my almost being in New York now going on 9 years. My end goals have changed a lot, because I've realized I wasted probably about 4 years just like trying to be somebody that I thought people wanted me to be. Not to say I was fake. I definitely was myself especially in my real life and like on sets and stuff. I was always myself, but I didn't go for things the way that I would have because I didn't want to be too aggressive or too much, or, oh, I need to be like the ingenue type. So I need to be a size 0 and I need to be and act like this and do the scene how a Disney princess would do it, you know? So I was very much finding like kind of like an identity as an artist. So that was a big part of my journey for the first probably 4 years of being in New York. And finally, after being here a while, I was realizing, I'm sure we've all been in situations in New York that are not especially actresses, female actors, female identifying actors, that are not favorable for us. And where we, they don't just talk about this actually. You are put in uncomfortable, unsafe situations with certain things where you have to make big decisions. And so I realized after a few projects that I need to just do me and bring what I have to the table, because I'm not trying to be like anybody else here. And there was a show I did. It was an off-Broadway show that I did, and it was one of my favorite roles, and my whole family did come to see it. I was a bit unsure if I wanted them to come because of the content. It wasn't bad content, but there was a lot of cursing and a lot of like sexual type of, it wasn't like overly anything crazy, but they had never really seen me do anything like that before. So I was a little bit unsure, but I was really proud of it. And the role was very, it was a quirky with a mix of the charming ingenue, which is kind of what I realized, that is kind of who I am. I'm pretty quirky. So like, but it's an interesting mix that I have, I've realized, and I finally kind of have figured it out. But, so that role let me shine in that way. Finally, it was a very unique type of role. And, I got really good reviews, on a few different theater review sites and stuff. And my family, even like my mom was like, even though I was not sure how she'd feel about it, she was like, that's one of you were on fire. Like, that was so good, you know? So it took me years to figure out kind of, okay, I just need to own myself. And I know that sounds easy to do, but actors all know it's not. So going from that, then I also started doing more film as well, because as we also both know, there is more money in TV and film, unfortunately, and we have to pay bills. So I got it. But then I found out I really love film and I love TV too. I love all of it. And then I found a love that I also love TV hosting, and I love interviewing people because I care about storytelling. Actors are storytellers. So it makes sense that I want to hear about other people's stories and have them tell it to me. So I found all these different avenues, which I'm very happy about because I enjoy all of them. And I finally have gotten to the point where up to now, I'm doing on every project I'm working on, I'm also on the production side as well as a lead actor. So I'm realizing sometimes you got to take charge a little bit of your own career. You can't, I realized for me personally, I wasn't happy anymore with just waiting around, doing self-tapes, waiting to for something to happen. I was kind of making things happen a little bit more on my own. And it started with the film I'm doing now. I can't say the name attached to it because I can't, because contract stuff. Because I have an actor contract and a producer contract. So
oh, gosh.
Crazy. And I had never, I'm helping with the SAG contract, which I've never had to do that before. So I'm learning a lot, and it's a lot of information. I'm sure someone who's done it 5 times will think, oh, and it's not that big of a deal, but I've never had to do it. So it's a lot, but there's 2 pretty big names attached to it. I'm pretty excited about it. The role's really, really like a pretty nice, meaty role. It's a drama. But the reason I got that role, I sort of made it happen for myself. I went to the audition. This is right before COVID. So the production was put on hold because of COVID, and now we're starting it up again. But at the audition, my manager at the time, he got me the audition, and they had already had a couple of the names attached to it. So they were just auditioning for like kind of side roles, but like still good roles, but more kind of smaller characters. And so they had me read for something, and it was only like 4 lines, and I went and I did it, and they were like, thank you. And they had me do it, and they talked to me, and it was great. And then I walked out of the room, and I was like, man, I hate auditions like that, where you just have 4 lines. I mean, I know we all have to do it, but I was like, I think I've done that enough. Like, I paid my dues, been here a lot. So I saw on the table, the sides, that there was the sides for a bigger role, which the main character's wife. And I was like, okay, if the sides are here for her, that means they're having people read for her. So I asked my manager, I said, are people reading for the wife? And he said, you know what? He said, I didn't think they were having people read. They thought they had an idea of who they wanted, but maybe they're just going to read people just in case. And I said, well, I would like to read for it because I'm here. And if I came all the way out here down, to this audition, like, I may as well. Right. And he said, okay, I'll talk to him. And so they said, okay. And they're like, if she can wait for a little bit, we'll see her. And so I waited for like a couple more people to go, and then they had me read for it. And I did very well, and they were not expecting it. And they were kind of surprised. They were like, wow, we weren't going to consider someone for this role. We thought we kind of had an idea, but so they started strongly considering me. And then turns out they decided that they didn't want all of the bigger parts to be named people. They wanted to have, because it does kind of, especially for, they have a good budget, but it's not like a budget where it's like a movie with, like Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, but it's good budget. And so I think they thought, it's probably better and also it kind of sometimes is nice, I think, when a film, it's someone that you don't know, because you kind of sometimes have a preconceived notion about people who've done a lot of films. Like if you see Jennifer Aniston, you kind of know, and she's great. I love her, but like, you know what, it's kind of like, it's interesting to see someone different someone new do something.
Yeah, especially if they're talented like you are, and they're going to
give people a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you gave yourself that opportunity too by being ballsy and going in there. And before, like a couple years prior to that, would have thought that's way too bold. That's way too like aggressive and forward. But no, it's not. You have to and I wasn't rude about it. I said, I'm here. I would love to read for it because I just, I'm here and I think I could do a good job. And so then they ended up offering it to me, which was awesome. And then I ended up having more conversations at the end of last year with the main producer, and he had lost his assistant, his like associate producer. I don't know exactly what happened with it, but so I kind of ended up just saying like, I'll do it. I was like just throwing it in there. So now I'm doing that too. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Great. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. And guys, please go check out Erica Becker. She is an amazing human being, a wonderful friend, and just a huge creative talent. You're going to learn so much just by listening to her, watching her, interacting with her, and her star is going up high. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. This is awesome what you're doing. I love it. I love it.
Me too. I'm so happy to have you on here. And thank you guys for listening to A Living Album with Molly Gazay with my special guest, Erica Becker. Bye.
Bye.